to the paint points. It's that man Abu, it's brother man. And today we got another trade idea for this Giannis trade, man.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it. So, in honor of the NBA trade deadline coming up on February 5th, we need to get Giannis up out of Milwaukee, man. It's come out early in the week. If you haven't seen my other videos on this Giannis shit, bang. Warriors, T-Wolves, Knicks, oh my. Trade deadline, February 5th. Terrible management. D. Haslam, Jimmy Haslam, and John Horst, the GM of the Milwaukee Bucks. It's terrible management. We're not going to talk about the football side. We're not going to talk about the football side. They did make a good decision with Tom Monken and you know, to team up with Shador. That's cool. But they just terrible management, bro, on both sides of the ball, both sports, and multiple sports. You dig what I'm saying? But with that being said, we're going to cover this trade, man. We need to let Giannis free. We need to free Giannis. And it ain't all they fault, too. Because I understand, I can see how a young man in Giannis coming over from Greece, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the foreign players who come from overseas, they have a certain loyalty about them that goes beyond the pale. You dig what I'm saying? And even with Milwaukee finally coming out and saying that they're willing to trade Giannis, Giannis has to approve it. And Giannis, he wishy-washy with his own right. In his own right, he wishy-washy. Sometimes he acting like he trying to go. Sometimes he acting like he there for the long haul. Sometimes he giving you answers that's on two sides of the board. Giannis, drop your nuts, man. If you want to leave, then leave. If you want to stay there and grind it out, then do that. And then say that. Then allow the team to progress that way and make the trades that's going to help y'all get back to where y'all trying to get back to. But as of 2017, when they hired John Horst, bro, I got that one championship. Giannis was bound to win the championship regardless, bro. The way that man played the game, he was bound to win a championship on his own. What have you done, John Horst? What have you done? The biggest pickups, Bobby Portis, Drew Holiday, you know what I'm saying? Brook Lopez was a very good help to Giannis. But Dame Lillard, bust. Bro, this shit all about chemistry, man. You can't just put players together. Everything's about timing as well. And the timing just hasn't been right. The time and the place. Milwaukee's just not the place to do it. Giannis, you got to understand, man. You in a small town. And on the flip side, all right, so the foreign mentality, the foreign player mentality is a two-edged sword. Because on one side of the coin, they want to be loyal to the ones who was loyal to them first, right? That's understandable. That's human nature. Then, being a guy who's originally from Greece, born in Greece, he's a Greek man. He's a Greek black man. Going to a big city, I think, will open his eyes to, you know, to a lot more. Now, will he be able to handle the scrutiny behind losing with the Warriors, behind losing with the Knicks in New York? Can he handle that scrutiny? Because it don't feel like love. It don't feel like love, Giannis. Are you willing to go to these major cities? Are you willing to go to LA? I know DC's not in the picture. Are you willing to go to the Wizards? All these big cities are going to have a huge Greek fan base. And I believe he will love it. He will love it in any major city. But is he willing to turn his back on the ones who loved him first? That's the dilemma with these foreign players and foreign athletes. Are they willing? You got to cut that umbilical cord, bruh. Cut the umbilical cord, bruh. Dig what I'm saying? So, with that being said, let's go ahead and go on to this trade scenario.
Let's just get to the point.
All right, let's get to it. All right. So, the first trade scenario that we got, Giannis to the Warriors. Giannis to the Warriors. Let's take a look at some videos that kind of give us a little bit of a background as to why or how this trade can be possible.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it.
This is where, if you're Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob, you have to think 2 steps ahead. It can't just stop with Giannis. It's Draymond and JK. Yeah. You still
I like that. So my belief is that it could stop at Giannis. You know what I'm saying? I believe Curry, Giannis, Green, and whatever they got can compete. They're not championship favorites, but they can compete and compete at a high level. And then you wait it out next year. Jimmy probably comes back late next year, and you're a championship contender at that point. And you're really able to push it. I say get Giannis now. You don't need Michael Porter Jr., but get Giannis now. You compete in the playoffs. Next year, you become title favorites with Curry, Giannis, Green, and Butler. I like that. I don't think you need MPG right now, but let's go ahead. Let's play it out. Let's see what he said.
to stop with Giannis. It's Draymond and JK.
Yeah.
You still have Jimmy Butler's contract. Mm-hmm. And that's where you go search for another team. The Brooklyn Nets may come into play. They're looking to sell Michael Porter Jr. Now, you got to get some other assets.
I don't think the Warriors that
maybe
slimy.
You call Brooklyn and say, hey, look, man, he's not
the Warriors not
January.
that slimy,
They're not
though.
trying to win games anyway. That's the source I heard from Brooklyn. They said, right now we're winning too many games. Yeah. So maybe you call Brooklyn about Michael Porter Jr. with Jimmy Butler's contract. Maybe you call New Orleans about Trey Bearford III. We're hearing rumors now that DeJounte Murray wants out. It's a long shot.
I can see DeJounte Murray going to the Warriors, though. I can see DeJounte Murray going to the Warriors. DeJounte probably doesn't go to the Warriors without the big boy, Zion Williamson, though. Or we can create a 3-team trade where Giannis and DeJounte go to the Warriors. We're going to check it out. Let's check it out.
I'm not trying to say it's realistic.
It really is.
But just getting Giannis to me is not enough to contend in the Western Conference. Let's flip it. Let's just say you trade the picks in Jimmy Butler. You still have Draymond and you still have JK. And we know they want to move JK.
Yes.
Draymond to JK, New Orleans, Brooklyn. I still think if you're going to make a move like this, you got to make a second move.
You got to be able to drop your nuts, too. In order to make a trade like that, you're revamping your entire squad. And you putting all your chips to the front. You got to drop your nuts to get that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they that slimy, though. Let's see what else we got.
I think Golden State has the clearest path to a deal.
Shams had mentioned 4 teams that were aggressively interested.
That's a great point. They do have one of the greatest paths to a deal to get Giannis because they had Jimmy Butler's huge contract and they got Jonathan Kuminga, who is the potential with, $24 to $28 million contract. So they got the money, they got the players who match the price tag to make a Giannis trade and more. So I feel them, the last guys talking about getting an MPG too.
Which included Golden State, Miami, Minnesota, and New York. I do think out of the 4 teams, Golden State's the cleanest, right?
Golden State has the best pathway in a 2-team deal.
Doing a deal with New York or Minnesota,
and that's a big thing. Golden State has the best path in a 2-team deal, which means you don't have to bring in a third, right? But dealing with Milwaukee would need a third team because you can get draft picks from Golden State, but will those picks be as valuable? You dig what I'm saying? The worst they probably would get would be 14 to early 20s as far as those picks. Milwaukee would need, this is what makes it tricky. In order to make a deal with the Warriors, Milwaukee would need a third team that's willing to give up some high draft picks.
in a 2-team deal.
Doing a deal with New York or Minnesota, those teams basically have to trade 2 or 3 core players out of their group and then have to wait until maybe mid-March for Giannis to come back. I think Golden State is more direct. They have 2 injured players.
Do you include Jonathan Kuminga as an attractive young player? I mean, do you include Brandon Podziemski? Podziemski is from Milwaukee.
He's not the level of young talent that you're probably first asking for.
Maybe it's not all 3 boxes. Maybe it's 2.5 of the boxes of what you're looking for.
I think Golden State has the clearest path to a deal.
All right, so you heard what they got to say, the guys on NBA on ESPN. Looks like this guy, Athletic Alchemy. Let's see what he got to say.
And I think that that's what we have going for us most is there's 2 things. One, I think we are the most desperate team with the Steph window shrinking.
All right, so he a Warriors fan. Yo, Giannis is not going to the Spurs, bro. I'm tired of hearing and seeing that. He's not going to the Spurs, bro. And he's not going to the Raptors, bro. You know, Usai Ujiri is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of going to the Raptors? What's the point of going to the Raptors when Milwaukee is the Raptors? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're on the same level.
By the moment. And then 2.
Now, the city bigger. The city is a huge city that, you know, you will get that big inner city feel from, like you will get from a DC, Miami, Chicago, LA, New York. You dig what I'm saying? Both New York teams at that.
Our shipment of draft picks, I think, may be viewed as the most valuable post Steph Curry. Because a lot of people are like, well, why would the Warriors, like, our draft picks are viewed as much more valuable because they're going to leak into the post-Steph Curry era. Chris Mannix said Jimmy, Kuminga, and 4 firsts. The 4 firsts are kind of non-negotiable, I think, when you start here. Again, who does Milwaukee values draft capital? Miami, who...
I don't think Kuminga is enough. Just Kuminga and 4 picks. If Milwaukee gets Kuminga and 4 picks, is the money going to add up, though? Is the money right on both sides? That's one. Now, Kuminga and 4 picks, again, who are you giving these picks to? You giving these picks to John Horst, Jimmy Haslam, D Haslam? What they going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? They can get those picks and they can get slimy with it and start, you know, dealing. You get Kuminga. See, but Kuminga is their only asset. You got Kuzma. Maybe a veteran team might want Bobby Portis, but they don't got too many. They don't got too many assets in Milwaukee.
A lot of people favor as the lead in this. The problem with Miami draft capital is they never bottom out, right? They're always in the playoffs. And so you would assume that Milwaukee would value Golden State's draft picks over
Miami is like the Steelers in the NFL. Same shit.
Miami. I looked up some of the packages that are being brought up from Miami. You got Khalil Ware, who is probably the most intriguing.
Khalil Ware. That's another asset Milwaukee has. Let me retract. So beyond Giannis, you got Khalil Ware. You got let's look at their roster. I'm over here guessing this shit. Kevin Porter Jr. What is he averaging? Oh, shit. All right. Got Kevin Porter Jr. 16.8, 16.857. Looking nice. I guess that's another asset. But you don't want to keep a guy. You want to keep a guy like this. You don't want to let him go if you're trading Giannis. 6'5", 203. Kevin Porter Jr. is a no-go. Untouchable. Kyle Kuzma, you can get the fuck. So y'all can see that shit. Kyle Kuzma, you want to block, cuz. Cole Anthony, you want to block, cuz. Bobby Portis, we love what you bring to the team, but you might be very valuable to a different franchise. Torian Prince, these are all trade bait. Torian Prince, Gary trade bait. Miles Turner. All right. So by trading Giannis, your team will be Kuminga, Porter Jr., Miles Turner. I guess you got, you could keep Cole Anthony, probably put him at point, or find you another point guard. Find you another point guard. You're gonna have 4 picks from the Warriors. Find you a better point guard. They got Ryan Hollins. What he doing? All right. So yeah, get rid of Cole now. But the untouchables, Kevin Porter Jr., Miles Turner, and Ryan Hollins. You can have anybody else, Warriors. You can have anybody else. But the Milwaukee, that's what I'm saying, bro. Milwaukee got some pieces to play with. They just got to put the right nucleus together. And is John Horst the guy to do that? I don't know. Matter of fact, I do know. It's a no. It's a no. If I'm GM, I'm getting friggity with this shit. Kuzma, trade, the thing, nobody want Kuzma. That's the problem. Kuzma want to be everywhere that he not wanted. Let's get back to the video.
Young player that could be offered. Do they want Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez? I don't think you give up Norman Powell as well. The package I saw was Ware, Hero, Jaquez, and Powell in 2 firsts. Who is left to play with Giannis besides Bam? Now, where things could get interesting is the rumors of Wiggins being brought back in a Kuminga deal could potentially facilitate more draft capital for Miami to send to Milwaukee. So again, even if the Warriors don't get Giannis, it could help them get Wiggins back. And I know you're saying whoop-de-doo, right? The other 2 teams that are rumored to be involved, you got the Knicks, but the problem is the Knicks don't have any draft capital, right? It would have to be like OG and Mikal Bridges. It would have to be a player swap. I don't think Milwaukee's interested in that as much as Giannis wants to play in the Big Apple. You got the Toronto Raptors. They've got some draft capital, right? But the only way I see it happen in Toronto, and this would be a very aggressive, interesting move, is if you did it for Scotty Barnes. If you did it for Scotty Barnes, because Scotty Barnes and Giannis, they're just not a good fit. And then that would be worth a bunch of draft capital. Here's a franchise player in the mold, in the ilk of Giannis. What is he, 24 years old, 25 years old, a 1-for-1 swap. He's on a supermax. I'm sure there have to be some other little things. I don't know how likely that is. And then you've heard the Minnesota Timberwolves trying to get involved in this. Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels, 2 firsts. I don't think it's getting it done. So
what about Rudy Gobert, some picks, and Shannon?
I think you look at realistically, is it between Miami and us? What makes me feel like it actually might happen is just how desperate the Warriors are at this point and how much we know Joe Lacob wants Giannis. And I think that
All right, so here, Steph Curry addresses Giannis trade rumors. When was this? Oh, this was recent.
Not really. I think our job is to keep winning games and keeping our energy as high as we can around here. We're not ignorant to what's going on around the league. Rumors and trade talks and who's on the block and all that type of stuff. So I know what's going on, but right now it's just about trying to continue to win, because if we lose sight of that on the court,
right,
ain't
no point in talking about shit that ain't happening. If they pick up Giannis, cool. But ain't no point in talking about it if it ain't happen. Here go Draymond Green talking about it. Let's see what this is. Oh, this recent too. Let's see what Draymond Green got to say about it.
Where are you at?
Look, man, everybody clinching, bruh. This why we was going, I had planned to do a whole bunch, highlight reactions to players in the NBA, but you come to realize that, before that, right around that trade deadline, before the trade deadline, bro, you can't really you got to take with a grain of salt when it comes to performances, bro, because, players are scared of getting traded. It's like right now, the players who are playing the best right now are players who know they spot solid. They're not getting traded at all. You know what I'm saying? I think let's give it after the trade deadline, after the All-Star game, before we can really see, real basketball, real NBA basketball again. Because you got that beginning of the season, and then you got that lull between December, between Thanksgiving all the way up to the trade deadline. It's like we on autopilot, like you sleep at the wheel type shit with the NBA. Niggas are scared of getting traded. You know what I'm saying? Trades are going to become eligible where, there's a certain time you can trade certain players, and that usually comes after December. So right now, I'm not really into the highlights, but you can check out a couple dudes. But I already know that niggas is clinching right now, man, because they know that they could get traded at any time, man, no matter who your name is. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a trade clause like LeBron. Unless you the man of the town like Steph Curry. You dig what I'm saying?
On your own, I guess, future here.
Unless you the future like Vic Wembanyama.
Oh, I've been here for 14 years. I have no reason to sit and worry about leaving. But if I'm traded, that's part of the business. So
speak up.
I ain't losing no sleep though.
Okay. All right.
I slept great last night. Incredible. I slept longer than I've slept in a long time. So
where are you at on your own, I guess, future here?
All right, let's see what else we got. All right, so we got CBS Sports reacts to trade deadline rumors with Giannis.
Time in Milwaukee could be coming to an end. That question is whether it happens by Thursday afternoon or perhaps wait for the offseason. As it stands, Bucks are finally willing to listen to trade offers as the team sits at 18-28 outside of the play-in tournament in the East. Let's bring in John Gonzalez with the impact Giannis could have on 3 reported suitors. We're even throwing in a bonus pick for contenders or pretenders for the former league and finals MVP. And again, the NBA trade deadline coming up Thursday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's start with the Warriors. John, would they be contenders or pretenders in this scenario?
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one, Tommy. I'm going to go with contenders. So the Warriors lost Jimmy Butler, as we all know, for the season with an ACL injury. Jonathan Kuminga has been marginalized and once out. Let's
take a look. Warriors projected starting lineup. So it looks like he wants to get rid of Jimmy Butler. So is Brandon Podziemski, is he really better than, Curry brother, than Peyton Jr.? Like, bro, getting a lot of run. And Buddy Hield bum ass. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a bum, but it's just that, you chose to play a team sport. Niggas be deciding to play a team sport and don't even know how to play a team sport. They individual players.
they linger or if they get a little bit too exacerbated, then all of a sudden, as you saw with Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton in the playoffs last year, they can quickly become an Achilles injury. So I worry a little bit about that. And I worry a little bit about just the Western Conference being absolutely loaded, right? The Warriors are 8th in the Western Conference. They have so many teams to climb over. But if they make this move, and I do like this move for the Warriors, I like it for the Bucks because, again, it just makes sense for both sides.
Giannis dominating.
Man, Steph and Giannis, I'm just going to say contenders because I want to see it happen.
Yeah, I'm with you when it comes to that particular scenario, but we've got a few others here.
Let's see what else we got. So ESPN is saying the Warriors need to be very aggressive to land Giannis Antetokounmpo, per Brian Windhorst.
days away from the NBA trade deadline, and with Giannis Antetokounmpo now reportedly on the trade block, Steph Curry was asked about the Warriors making a move for the two-time MVP.
Not ignorant to what's going on around the league. Rumors and trade talks and who's on the block and all that type of stuff. So
Shams is reporting the Warriors are one of the 4 serious suitors looking to acquire Giannis. How aggressive are the Warriors planning to be here?
I think they have to be very aggressive. They understand it. They are in the eye of this storm because if they're going to make this move, they're going to have to close, I really believe, by next Thursday. Their offer cannot really improve by the summer. The pick-centered offer, what they could make, the advantage that they have over the other suitors is that they control all of their picks. They can offer 4 unprotected first-round picks, plus swaps, plus players on their roster. If we get to the summer, teams like Miami, Minnesota, New York, they can actually improve their offer. So they have got to be very aggressive and close, and it is in their interest because, look, Steph Curry is late in his career. They don't want to set up for next year. Giannis is 31. They don't want to set up for next year. They want to include getting Giannis for this year's postseason. The other teams have a different set of circumstances. It's time for the Warriors, if they want to give Steph another star player, to do everything they can to try to get the Bucks to make a deal.
I'll tell you what, they did it last year. They brought Jimmy Butler in, huge impact, changed their fortunes pretty quickly. I think Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy Jr., they have an obligation to do whatever it takes, Hannah, to surround Steph Curry with Giannis or whoever else.
Man, whatever it takes. You got a superstar that's still willing to go out there and crush. That still has potential, championship potential. His game is still his game. You gotta maximize the time that you have Steph Curry.
To put him in a position to potentially win another championship. He's done enough for that franchise. He's done enough for that city. And I think they will. I think they can do everything they can to make this happen, and it'll be exciting to watch 2 of the best players this game has seen in the last 25 years.
They better make it happen.
Yeah.
They better be ready to get their feet out right now, because not only are we talking about a 37-year-old Steph Curry, but we talking about a Steph Curry that's been loyal, and we talking about a Steph Curry that is putting up numbers to show them that he is still ready to produce at a high level. 27 points, almost shooting, 46% from the field, 40 from the 3, and 93% from the free throw line. And again, I know it may take giving up a lot, but damn it, you get it done.
Well, the thing that's happened with them is the Jimmy Butler injury has changed everything. Like, I think they thought that they could still catch lightning in a bottle with Jimmy Butler, but now that injury changes their whole world. They don't even know what Jimmy's going to be able to bring next year. I know that he intends to rehab hard, but he's in his mid-30s. I don't know what they're going to get. So the pressure is on for them to close. And I also think that if there's a 2-team trade, now you get into 3-team trades, 4-team trades, you can do other things. But they have potentially the best offer. Because they understand that, they have to be aggressive.
And you wonder if an injured Jimmy Butler would even be part of that. I mean, Coach, what would this look like potentially on the floor? Let's spin it forward. Let's just take Giannis and Steph right there.
Well, let's take Giannis out of the equation for a second, because I want to celebrate Steph Curry, right?
Okay.
We keep on talking about Giannis. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Greatest shooter of all time. Perked his touchdown, the numbers from this year. This guy, Hannah, if we watch this film, he will pull up from 35 feet. Lethal shooter, all-time NBA leader in made threes. Terrific catch-and-shoot player.
Greatest shooter of all
Alexander
time.
Walker thinks he's
Moving
playing
to the
good
right.
defense. Steph doesn't need any
Still throw that
separation
bitch
to knock
up.
down threes like this. And then he can get to the basket.
Man,
One of the more
that's on
underrated
cancel.
finishers in the NBA.
Wemby lurking.
And Wemby comes over to block this. I
You got
want you to
Vic
notice
lurking.
how high he gets
your
his
Vic.
shot off the glass.
Get your
Using
Vic.
the backboard as his friend. I coached Steph Curry for 2 years. I know his work ethic. I know his character. He is an outstanding player, and let's celebrate greatness, because I don't want anybody taking him for granted.
You know who don't?
Yeah, man. Hey, with that being said, that's all. Looks like that's all we got today for Giannis to the Warriors. Giannis to the Warriors trade ideas. Let's go ahead and check out. Let me see what I believe we can do with Giannis.
Let's just get to the point.
All right, let's get to it. So here is my trade idea. Where this shit at? All right, there we go. All All right, so my trade idea for Giannis to the Warriors, and trust me, the money adds up. The money adds up. I got Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Podziemski, and Al Horford to the Bucks for Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. For Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. Now, like I said before, draft picks from a third team is needed to satisfy Milwaukee needs. What does Milwaukee want? They want a blue chip player, check. We got Kuminga. They also want picks. So you need a third team to get in the fold. So we be looking at third teams. You could be looking at, look, one guy brought up DeJounte Murray. You could look at New Orleans. New Orleans could get into the fold, add a couple draft picks. They can let DeJounte go. You dig what I'm saying? Or you can do a pick swap. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at the Pelicans roster. All right, Pelicans roster. All right, 3-team trade deal. So off the rip, we can say Kuminga, Hield, Podziemski, and Horford straight up for Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. 2-team trade. If you want to add a third team, if the Warriors want to be the best they can be, if Milwaukee wants to be the best they can be, the Warriors can send picks. They can send 2 picks to the Bucks, 2 picks to the Pelicans. You can send Jordan Poole to Milwaukee. You can fact check me on the money because I ain't do the money with the third team. Jordan Poole to Milwaukee. DeJounte Murray to, DeJounte Murray to the Warriors. Giannis to the Warriors. Gary Trent to the Pelicans. And the Pelicans get draft picks. Gary Trent and draft picks for the Pelicans look like that's cool. You might could add Al Horford to the Pelicans however you want it. You send Kevin Looney to the Bucks however you want it. You can send DeAndre Jordan to the Warriors. But what is Cuz? What are you doing right now? How many minutes he playing the game? Bruh just support. Bruh just emotional support right now. He in the stage of his career. DeAndre Jordan is in the stage of his career where he's just an emotional support guy. Damn. He ain't playing shit. All right, cool. All right, you heard it here first. I said you heard it here first. Giannis to the Warriors. So you got Milwaukee Bucks, you got Golden State Warriors, and you have a possible New Orleans Pelicans as the third team needed to complete this trade. Kuminga, Hield, Podziemski to Milwaukee. Milwaukee also gets Jordan Poole. The Warriors get Giannis and DeJounte Murray. The Pelicans get 2 picks from the Warriors. And they get Gary Trent to the Warriors. And then they get, who else did I say? Shit, wild card, man. You can throw Looney in that bitch. You could throw Horford to the Pelicans as well. All right. That looked good to me. That looked like a trade scenario that could happen. All you need now, these niggas to drop their nuts.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it. All right, man. With that being said, you have seen you have watched the trade idea scenario of Giannis to the Warriors. We tried to break it down as best as possible. Trade deadline right around the corner. Let's see what happens this week, man. Let's get it.
Let's just get to the point.
All right, it's that man Abu. It's brother man. Thanks for watching the video. If you want more videos like this, if you want more videos about storylines, about narratives, if you're an NBA fan, you're a basketball fan, you're a sports fan in general, like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this.
Let's just get to the point.